Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Kay Cote, and I'm your podcast host here on the show today. And today we have Garrett Ozar, founder and CEO of Eterneva, as my guest. I'm so excited to talk with Garrett today to kind of get the ins and outs of his business, journey to business ownership, challenges, and best practices that he has learned along the way to give you an inside scoop of what it's like to really own and operate a business. If this is your first time on our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop episodes like this. Welcome to the show, Garrett. It is so nice to meet you and have you here today.
Thanks for having me, Kay.
Yes, well, let's dive in. Give me a little brief about yourself and tell us about the business.
Sure. Uh, as you mentioned, my name is Garrett Ozar, and I, alongside of Adele Archer, created Eterneva. We grow diamonds from ashes or hair as a way to celebrate remarkable loved ones that are no longer with us. Our mission is creating brightness and meaning through loss. And yeah, we started this company 7 years ago, and I really was interested in creating something that had a lot of impact. So I wanted to make sure that by the end of my career, I can sit back and have like a rocking chair moment on my front porch and be thinking about the impact I've left behind. And it was really important to me that the impact I left behind was on people. And we kind of stumbled into this space, but we never dreamed about creating a business in death care, let alone having to create a category and teach people what this is, and then also figure out how to manufacture diamonds from carbon that's extracted from ashes or hair. But we did see the opportunity to create an experience for people that they've never had with another company before, because we can lean in and create an incredible journey for them to honor a loved one that's no longer here. And previous to Eterneva, I had a couple small companies that I started. I've been in kind of like tech sales and stuff like that, but I started a Bluetooth speaker company for golf. There was like a portable Bluetooth speaker that mounts on a golf carts. I was the first company to create that space, and I learned a lot about manufacturing and product market fit. And I didn't really create a brand, or I didn't really create a company. I more created a product there. And I kind of just had a feeling that I wasn't really changing the world. I wasn't really changing anybody's lives. And so I sold that company, and that's when Adele and I teamed up to figure out, how to create something that was going to be more meaningful. And that's how we landed on Eterneva.
Wow, that is an impactful story. And I have a word for things like this. I call them legacy pieces. It's like this is something that creates that legacy for loved ones. And I think that's really incredible. And I'm really excited to kind of dive in a little deeper on how did you come about finding such a unique opportunity?
Yeah, we found this company by really doing research on a few different industries, but we were visiting a lab-grown diamond facility. So I didn't really know much about lab-grown diamonds at all. I didn't understand that a lab-grown diamond is a diamond that's just grown from a machine above ground that's emulating what's happening below the ground. And we were just visiting a facility and met with a diamond scientist, and over dinner, he casually mentions to us that carbon is the base material for a diamond. All a diamond is carbon bonded to itself. And, diamond's the hardest surface on Earth. It's beautiful. And he mentioned to us, imagine if you extracted carbon from someone's ashes as a way to memorialize somebody instead of having an urn. And Adele had just lost her friend and mentor to pancreatic cancer. It was actually her coach. And her coach had pancreatic cancer and passed away, and Adele had some of her ashes. And she was already doing the mental exercise of like what she was going to do with Tracy, her friend's remains. And so the second she learned she can grow a diamond, I knew that that's where she was taking it, is wanting to do this personally. And for me, what got me excited about this was that, I don't know, I jumped to this conclusion of keeping someone's story alive. And somebody once told me that there are two deaths. There's one in which you pass away, and there's another one in which people stop thinking about you or knowing your story.
Mm-hmm.
And I immediately went, as this guy was telling us over dinner about, you know, the ability to do this, I immediately went to a place that if I had like a pocket watch with a diamond or something like of that kind of meaning that was of my great great grandparents, I would know their story. I would know what they did. I would know who they were. And I have no idea who they were, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought how cool that would be to be able to do this for thousands of people, to keep someone's story alive longer and to keep it through generations. And so that's what initially excited me. So we found a couple other companies that were already doing this. We weren't the first to do it, but those companies were missing the mark on transparency and brightness and valuing the emotional aspect behind this and ensuring that like people knew if they're going to do this, that it's a real diamond. It's really my loved one's remains, that they get to see a part of that they get to see the process. And so we built this compass really early on that was basically making sure that every time we were going to do every decision we were going to make as a business was going to go through this brand compass, which was, we want to make sure that every customer going through has a personalized experience to the point where they feel like they're the only person going through it. We also want to make sure we honor their loved one's legacy at every step of the way. So on the other side of me is a hallway with thousands of pictures of loved ones. And every single time we grow a diamond, we have the person's story and their picture on the like run sheet. So everybody on our team like knows the stories behind the diamonds we're growing. And then the third thing, which is really important also, is just that we're like making our customers feel understood through their grieving journey. You know, if anybody is going to do this, it's expensive, it's emotionally exhausting. If they're going to be doing this, that means that they lost a loved one that meant the world to them. And we just want to make sure that we're providing space for that, that we're meeting them where they are in their grieving journey. So, you asked me how we got into this. That's how we got into it. But what I love about what we do, and I'm actually more excited about this part now, is the fact that because we have that compass and we have this idea that we're like, all right, let's create an experience that our customers have never had with another company before. So let's design a customer journey that has intent of creating feelings like anticipation, excitement, reward, acknowledgement, all feelings that create serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, that can make somebody feel joy and happiness through a time that is really dark for them. Being able to gift that to people and seeing their reaction is the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my career. And I didn't know that coming into this. I didn't know that that was the result, but that's been the result. And we've reshaped our mission to bringing brightness and meaning, because that's ultimately what we were doing by creating this journey the way we did, the customer journey.
Wow, that is so impactful. I think it's just incredible what you're doing. Thank you for sharing that story and diving into the nuts and bolts of what makes your company beautiful and able to do these things is your team. I want to learn about your team. How many team members do you have right now, and are you growing, and what's that look like?
We have about 37 team members across multiple departments. So I'm currently in Kerrville, Texas, which is about 2 hours west of Austin. And here is our operations team. So the folks that are handling the whole journey of making sure that we're receiving our loved ones' remains and doing the purification and growing their diamonds and making sure that it goes really smoothly and that every person's cared for. And we probably have 10 full-time employees that work here. And then we have a customer care team that is working with new customers and existing customers. We have a very obviously thorough customer experience process where we're connecting with our, customers on a bi-monthly basis, a couple times a month from the beginning to end, and it takes 10 months. So our customer experience team is a large part of our team. But yeah, that's where we are, and we're growing our partnerships. We're looking at some international opportunities right now that are really exciting. We're looking at introducing some more tech plays, some digital plays, with being able to connect loved ones' stories and who they were to the diamond itself. So you can actually like scan the diamond and have that go to, the person's story and have that captured somewhere. There's also some other aspects of it, the tech part, that are really exciting too, but I don't think we're talking about it yet.
That's incredible. Well, let's kind of continue that with my next question is, what does the next, say, 3 to 5 years look like for your company? Where do you want to grow to?
I really want to stay small from a team perspective. I really don't want to get to a place where we have 500 employees or more. There's just no way we can keep the same impact at that scale. And I think we can figure out how to do less, or how to do more with less. At the end of the day, our most important thing is that customer experience and our employee experience. What it looks like for the next 3 years is continuing on improving our experience for our families going through this process, so they can feel like they're even more part of it. It includes the digital play, which we're calling Capsule. And Capsule incorporates not just storing your loved ones, like pictures and videos behind a wall that like you can scan your diamond and have access to, but we also envision being able to have it be interactive, and have more of an interactive experience that you get to have. And I'm really excited about that, because I just lost my brother-in-law, who's my best friend on the planet, and he has 2 kids that are my nieces, and they're 7 and 5 right now, and he passed away 18 months ago, and I just really wanted them to be able to hear his voice and not forget who he is, because he passed away when they were so young. And so I made the commitment to him, because he had ALS, and so it was a process for him to go, but I made a promise to him that I was going to help ensure that they were going to feel connected to him the rest of their life and know him even more, rather than go the other direction. And I realized that promise to him really should be a promise to everybody going through this, that loses someone too soon, or has kids and that experience, that like, why not figure out a way that people can move forward but not move on.
Yeah, that's incredible. And just to know that it's going to be such an impact for so many people. So looking at moving forward in these directions that you're going into, with taking on like a lot of the tech components and growing, is there any challenges that you've come across in the experience of growing in this direction?
Yeah, there's been a lot of challenges that we've come across. I wouldn't recommend to anybody that's thinking about starting a company to jump into a business that you're both creating a category and having to build your own manufacturing supply chain. Those are 2 very complicated things. And I think one of them is enough to tackle. We've tackled both. And so there's been times where we didn't have the capacity and we couldn't take on new customers. So we had to like build a form on our website that was actually weeding people out, that was trying to, like we couldn't have that many conversations. And so that was a good problem to have, is not having, the capacity for demand. And that's a challenge. Also, I think what's a challenge is the fact that, we're still a business. Like what we do is so mission driven, but we're still a business, and we still need to have goals and accountabilities and KPIs, and that can't get lost, because otherwise you don't have a business, right? So even though we're in this emotional place as a company and a super mission driven business, it's finding that balance of still respecting that and having that be the compass and drive all your decisions, but still having goals and accountabilities and clear roles and responsibilities and projects that are moving the business forward that we're holding each other accountable for. And, you know, being able to look back on what's not working and make adjustments and continue on.
Definitely. Well, especially when you mentioned that you had to kind of tackle two big things with creating category and then having the manufacturing. So are there some things right now you're still challenged with the manufacturing, or what's that look like as you're moving forward?
I mean, I think there's manufacturing is always a challenge.
Mhm.
We went from having one machine that grows diamonds. And so this is only one step. So this machine right here was our first machine we ever bought. And this one we purchased from a company in Europe. And we ended up getting cut off from, I think it was like, I don't know, the Ukraine war, or maybe it was COVID supply chain. It was something, I forget. It was like one of those things cut us off.
Mhm.
And we were able to buy two more, but we had to figure out how to not rely on another company. And so we had to design and build our own machine that from the ground up. And that was, you know, it took 3 times longer than we wanted, and it was 3 times more expensive than we thought it was going to be. And
Mhm.
you're always in different stages of manufacturing. You know, it's about ensuring you can get end to end. And then it's ensuring that once you're end to end, it's now becoming efficient. And then
Mhm.
you're always measuring something different. It's kind of like you're going up this chart of like, okay, you have your baseline first, and then you're just trying to get better and better as you go. And now we're at a place where we're measuring, making sure our machines are running 24/7. And also we have a really high quality guarantee. So like our diamonds grown are like engagement quality diamonds. And so that's always the top of mind, is how we can continue to push the envelope on creating diamonds that are higher quality. But that's just one step. There's like a dozen steps in the process to get from ashes to purified carbon to building a growth cell to growing the diamond to mining the diamond out of this rock to then having a master cutter shape the diamond. And there's multiple stops of in the process of you know, ensuring that everything is going smoothly, and then creating a custom ring and and then putting that diamond in the ring or necklace, and then making sure we deliver it home safely. Like there's just, it's a pretty complicated supply chain, and we have no room for error. So we went the route of hiring a couple folks in aerospace because they're so precise with their
Mhm.
processes that you can't make any mistakes. And so we wanted to take that same approach with our manufacturing, is ensuring that we don't make a mistake. So and we get ahead of that.
Mhm. Um, that I can imagine just like the steps that it takes to make the diamond. So that is incredible as well. This has been such a fun story. I could talk to you for hours about this. I mean, I could dive down the path of the technology route to more, but I think we're going to go into some rapid fire questions.
Cool.
So we'll be talking about 4 questions. Answer top of mind, first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Question number one is, what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Uh, think about well, first of all, it's have your goal. And when you create your goal, make sure that there's context for your goal. Make sure that from the context, there's a clear action, and make sure that there's an outcome that everybody's aligned on. So it's having a clear goal, a clear context so that everybody understands what like we're trying to accomplish, what the actual action is that we're trying to accomplish, and then what we want as an outcome, and making sure that we have full alignment on that.
Mhm.
That piece is great for communication, for projects, for high level and for low level stuff.
Definitely. And what is a key to success for you?
Communication and alignment.
Two of the best. What is one book, or it could be a piece of content, podcast, anything that you've taken in most recently?
I obsess over AI stuff. So I joined this group called AI Foundation. It's a community. It's like $40 a month or something. And in my opinion, I've learned from that community more than I have. And I used to read at least one book a week. And I just feel like I'm advancing a lot. So that's my advice is get ahead of the curve.
Mhm. And the final question, if you could wave a magic wand and immediately improve one aspect of your business overnight, what would it be?
Making it more accessible. Our average order value is $10,000. Our starting price is 3,000. We lose money on $3,000 diamonds.
Mhm.
And I want this for more people.
That is great. This has been such a great conversation. Before we get to our final question of the day, how can people get in contact with you?
Our website is eterneva.com. So I think you can see it behind me, eterneva.com. But you can reach out to me direct too. Like I'm an open book. I suck at email, but I'll get to it at some point. My email is my name at Eterneva. So Garrett at Eterneva. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm happy to field any questions or connect with anyone, offer advice. Like we had so many people help us along the way, and
Mhm.
if there's anything I can do to help get back in any way, I'm always happy to.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that, Garrett. And our final question of the day, Garrett, what is most inspiring to you today?
What's most inspiring to me today, um, I'm going to take this in a direction you're not ready for. Um, the unsung heroes that are behind the scenes that are doing incredible things. I think that in today's world, it's so easy to be pessimistic and see the negative things in life. The news is terrible, and we just obsess over the negative and obsess over conflict and obsess over all the things that are going wrong in our world. And what inspires me are the people that see the positive side. And my daughter is a cancer survivor. She was born with what was deemed as a terminal cancer, and we had so many heroes along the way that aren't in the news that were able to take a terminal illness and make it something curable. And she's now 5 years disease free, and a normal kindergartner. And what inspires me are the dedication and the human beings that have spent their lives putting themselves in a position to help her be where she's at. And I'm very grateful for that.
Wow, Garrett. Well, this episode touched my heart, and I'm sure it is touching the hearts of listeners. And, for anybody listening, be sure to like and subscribe to get these episodes, because you hear the stories of business owners who are creating from the heart. They're creating businesses that have impact. So again, thank you, Garrett, for being on the show today.
Thanks, Kay.
Well, that was wonderful. I had to hold back tears. Your story is incredible, Garrett. Thank you for sharing that. It's going to be a really impactful episode. So, a little bit of what's next. In a few days, we will have this content ready for you. You're welcome to share it, turn it into reels, share the episode, use it in a way that, amplifies your business and helps you grow. It sounds like you're doing something really powerful. And so I really appreciate your time. The final thing before we wrap up is, again, as a thank you for your time, I'd love to connect you with one of our coaches for a complimentary session to go over some of these things that we talked about, like that supply chain management, things like that you're dealing with as you're growing. Our coaches are really equipped to help you put those tools into place. And so, would it be a terrible idea to put something on the calendar?
No, sure.
Awesome. I will pull up Coach Andy's link here. He's local too. So, super great coach. He can help answer any of those questions. All right. Looking at his calendar, he has October 24th. If that works for you, he has a few afternoon availabilities there.
That does work for me.
Wonderful. He's got a 1 p.m. 1:30 and a 2 and a 2:30.
Let's do 2:30.
Wonderful. All right. All I need from you is your phone number.
512-962-9891.
Wonderful. Well, I will be in touch via email by the end of the day today, connecting you with Coach Andy and Taylor.
Okay.
She's going to be helping you out. I'm happy to stay connected online and support you through your journey too. This is incredible. This is something down the road I would like to utilize, if when that time comes. And so it's good to know you all exist and you're in the area. So really appreciate you, and we'll be in touch on the
Sounds
email.
good. Thanks, Kay.
All right. Take care.